I just saw this new AI agent that is able to become a software engineer and achieving 30% on the SWE bench. And I just want to kind of talk to you about this. And I have basically 3 different AI agents that I want to talk to you about. All of them are very specialized. Some of these AI people, they always talk about, or Mark Zuckerberg said like, oh, we're not going to have like one AI agent to rule them all. We're going to have thousands or even millions of AI agents, all specialized. And I kind of went head first, diving into all these cool things that just happened this week. So yeah, we're going to talk a lot about agents today. And I know that the audience also loves AI agents. And the first
Everyone
one
loves AI agents.
Exactly. I love AI agents as well. And especially when I come to one of the second ones
and
or the third one.
Some people, yeah, and some people love them too much, but we're going to talk about that in a moment.
That's foreshadowing right there. All right, so we're gonna basically, this all happened with Alistar. He said, I'm excited to share what we build, the world's most capable AI software engineer. So we're just gonna watch this video real quick and I'll show you what it does and his thoughts on it. And I have a couple myself as well.
Hi, I'm Ali, co-founder and CEO of Cosine, a human reasoning lab. And I'd like to show you Genie, our state-of-the-art, fully autonomous software engineering colleague. Genie has the...
So here you can see as well that Genie is getting a 30.07 compared to the factory code droid, which is Amazon Q. So it's a big increase. And
massive increase.
How are they doing that? Let's find out.
Highest score on SW Bench in the world. And the way we achieved this was by taking a completely different approach. We believe that if you want a model to behave like a software engineer, it has to be shown how a human software engineer works. We've designed new techniques to derive human reasoning from real examples of software engineers doing their jobs. Our data represents perfect information lineage, incremental knowledge discovery, and step-by-step decision-making.
So this was one of the coolest things that they kind of discovered, which is they're taking from human reasoning, basically looking at how do humans and software engineers in themselves come to an answer. And that was what he said, perfect information lineage. So it's actually like, some people write the code and then they ask, hey, what am I going to do? What am I doing wrong here? And then they get an answer to that by another software engineer. And it kind of goes through that. And that leads to the incremental knowledge discovery and the step-by-step decision making. That
makes sense.
And which was one of the reasons why they were actually able to increase it by that much, is learning by having their data based on human knowledge and what actual humans do.
Representing everything a human engineer does logically. By actually training Genie on this unique data set, rather than simply prompting base models, which is what everyone else is doing, we've seen that we're no longer simply generating random code until some works. It's tackling problems like a human. So let's take a look at Genie solving a real problem from a real repo. You'll notice you can prompt Genie with a natural language prompt, ticket, or in our case, a GitHub issue. So I'll go ahead and start.
So this is pretty incredible in itself. You can just enter a link into there with an issue and you'll see now kind of the step-by-step that it'll go through.
So now Genie's fetched the GitHub issue. When I click solve, it'll start looking into the problem. As you can see, it started thinking about what it'll need to find in order to solve this problem. This process is iterative and it will keep going until the model is satisfied that it's found everything that it needs. There we go. We can see that it's pulled a couple of examples of files from the codebase that intuitively look like they're relevant to the issue that we're looking at. Now it's going to start writing code to try to solve the problem. Much like the retrieval step, this process is also iterative. Genie will write code, run it, and then react as a function of what it's seen.
So this is a really interesting idea, right? Because I don't know if you saw one of my videos where I made like code, and for me, coding with ChatGPT is basically get it to write the code, put it into VS Code, get the error, put the error back into ChatGPT again, get new code, put it in, get an error again, and then, you know, that's the iterative
I mean,
step.
yeah, that's how coding looks like for 95% of ChatGPT users, right?
Exactly. And here it's just doing that naturally, and all of it is iterative, which means it has a cause and effect chain. So it's basically, hey, the error, you get that thing that I just talked about automatically, which is just amazing.
Yeah, and then you can see how it moves from one stage to the other, right? So we've got finding the files, then obviously planning action based on what we found. So looks pretty cool.
One of the great advantages of our data-first approach is that because our model has watched more humans solve problems than any human could in a lifetime, it has a great grasp of how software engineers really break down and triage issues. It's also easily able to edit code in place, which is something that foundational models struggle with without rewriting entire sections. Genie is now...
So again, it went from running the tests, it found an error, then it's starting to plan an action again, and then it will probably start writing the code again, which is the iterative process that they're talking about.
Running the code it's writing and is using the debugging tools that we've given it to look at application state and execution flow, just like a developer would. Again, it's seen humans do this millions of times and is emulating that process. So back to the task. We've just watched Genie try a couple of different approaches to solving this problem, and at first it wasn't successful. So it planned again and has just written an alternative approach. This process can continue indefinitely, and because of the long context window that Genie has available to it, many different approaches can be tried without losing information along the way. There we go. All the tests are now passing. Genie has successfully solved this problem, and it solved it in just 84 seconds, which
Massive congrats. If you would give this task to any software engineer out there that had no information about any of this, it would take a long time for it to, find the files, think about the planning action, writing the code, running the tests. It would take a lot longer than 84 seconds, that's for sure.
100%.
guess was much faster than any human could come to an unknown repo with an unknown issue and solve a problem. So now it'll write a PR title and a body and actually open the PR on our linked GitHub repo through the Cosine web platform. Any comments
So this is probably one of the coolest parts of this.
or reviews left on that PR will be heard by Genie and will be acted upon as if it was a real human colleague.
That's incredible. You literally post it, and if there's any comments, any dislikes, any reviews, it will literally listen to that and take that into feedback and then try to iterate again based on human feedback. I wonder how fast you can actually trick it into seeing, hey, there's some hallucination going on, and then, break it. But yeah, I think here you can see like the vision of the company a little bit more.
We'd like to thank OpenAI for allowing us to fine-tune such a long context window model, and I'm extremely excited to see where and how you guys use Genie. If you'd like to give Genie a try, just head over to our website at cosine.sh.
Cosine.sh.
Wow, okay. Because obviously before that, I was thinking, software engineer, that's surely one of the roles that you kind of need humans to do, right? Because no AI is going to be able to see the software like humans do and use the software like humans do, right? And then here we are. We've got the company that fed the kind of human, I guess, like data into the AI, and that's doing magic with it. It looks like.
Yeah, exactly. I love that they're actually taking like the human approach to it instead of, like I explained before, like write code until it works and then try to fix the bugs. And usually it ends up just in loops and loops trying to fix itself, but it actually never is able to do that. And being able to score the highest by a big margin is quite unique. Now, you might be asking, can I use this now? And the answer is, join the wait list.
Of course it is.
So is this hey, we've announced this thing that looks really good on the trailer,
but you can't use it until next year. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I found this really interesting, obviously, software development. And from all of these AI agents things that I got today, they're all obviously kind of like, okay, the agent will do the work instead of the human. But in this case, the human literally moves up the stack to become an overseer of the process and check out what it's doing. And besides software, we're going to talk about a lot of more pretty very, very scary things going on with agents at the last agent that I'm going to talk about. But yeah, that was Genie. cosine HS. Check it out. Join the waitlist if you want to.
If you're interested in those sorts of things.